Hi, my name's Lindy and welcome to my channel. My website is www.lindycowling.co.uk and my email is info@lindycowling.co.uk. The email address is for inquiries to book sessions or for media inquiries. So I'm going to just launch straight into this video because it wasn't planned, and I'm going to launch in. So the title of this video is it worth doing the work if I'm not with my connection? Is it worth doing the work if I'm not with my connection? Now I'm bringing this video out because this is a common question that I get asked over the years, and I've been asked it a couple of times just this week alone. So let's define what that question means. Is it worth doing any inner work, any inner clearing, healing one's own demons, dealing with one's shadow side, unlooping oneself from programmed behavior, looking at what triggers one, looking at how one reacts when they're being projected onto or when they're projecting onto others? Is it worth dealing with that if you're not with the original person, twin flame, soulmate, catalyst, let's say any form of connection, anybody that you fell for or fell in love with or had a massive spiritual awakening with? Is there any point in doing your own work, inner work, if you're not with the original person that kicked that off, or if you're not going to end up with the person that kicked that off, or if you're not going to be with them till later on? Firstly, what you need to sit down and think about is why you're even having to ask that question in the first place. And what I mean by that is, if you have connected with someone that's been a game changer, a life changer, where all the hidden, suppressed gunk and junk, all the good, the bad and the ugly, the negative, the traumatic stuff, but also the wonderful stuff, the blissful stuff, if all that got regurgitated and came up, there are two ways of looking at it, and there's two ways of looking at everything. You can either approach that like, okay, this is a massive wake-up call. The ways I've behaved my entire life, or the ways I've responded to relationships my entire life, have an opportunity to shift at this point in time. It's being highlighted, so I get a chance to walk my walk. I get a chance to heal those things so that when I connect with the next person in my life in a romantic fashion or otherwise, those triggers aren't there anymore. I'm not projecting on them, they're not projecting on me, there's no more triggering, and at that point you're connecting with somebody from a sense of wholeness or a unified state of energy, not from a state of separation. You need to fix me, I need to fix you, I'm broken, you're broken. Two broken pieces don't necessarily make a whole piece, they're still two broken pieces. So what you need to ask yourself, those of you that are asking these questions, is why on earth wouldn't you want to do that work? Why on earth would you want to bypass the biggest opportunity of your life to come into a state of wholeness inside yourself, to understand who you are, to come into a relationship with yourself, inside yourself, learning who you are minus the projections and the triggers, clearing your stuff, because if you don't clear your stuff, I mean, it all comes down to choice at the end of the day. If you decide, oh, that sounds like too much hard work, I'm not doing that, that's absolutely fine, but you'll just connect with someone else on that same level again. If there are massive unhealed things within you and you don't deal with them, then you will go and connect with someone who triggers those massive unhealed things within you again, and so on and so on and so on and so on and so on. It will keep going infinitely. But you have an opportunity this time round not to do that. It's a wake-up call, because not only does this show up in your relationships with everyone, intimate relationships, sexual relationships, romantic relationships, friendship relationships, partnerships, work relationships, peer group relationships. So it goes on. The whole world rotates around relationships. But what really gets triggered is that inner relationship template, relationship of you to you inside you. What makes you tick, who you really are, how you really feel about yourself. Do you actually have love for yourself? Not in a narcissistic way. I mean in a caring, compassionate way. If not, where did that come from? Was it childhood? Is it some pattern from elsewhere? Where did that come from, that disconnect to yourself? So all that gets a chance to be healed. And when these places are sorted out within yourself, you then get to meet someone on a level playing field that doesn't have disjointed bits of them within them, broken bits within them, and you don't have broken bits within you. And so you meet on a level playing field where you can connect and create. Your creative energy doesn't have to be wasted, really limping along, trying to come into a state of wholeness within you both, because that bit's already done. So again, if we come back to the question, why would one bother to do any healing or clearing or sort any of this out while they get the opportunity, if there are no guarantees they're going to end up with a person that they want to end up with, or there are no guarantees that they'll end up with the original connection? Doesn't mean to say it can't happen, but there are no guarantees. Why would you bother? Again, I'm going to say, why would you not? What have you got to lose? You've got everything to gain. Because if you don't sort your shit out, it's going to keep getting projected and mirrored back to you over and over again by your life situations or anyone else you meet, in whatever category, until it's gone. But if you want to continue in that pattern, that's your choice. What I would say is, if we want to extend this out bigger, it's far bigger than the relationship with you to you inside you and the relationship with others. We are now at a pivotal point in history where that choice you make inside you is going to reflect what timeline and reality you are existing on this planet at this point. Which trajectory are you going to take? Are you going to take the multi-dimensional quantum heart grid, an inner grid? Are you going to walk that route into that timeline, which then branches off into infinite timelines, time, space, reality? Or are you going to choose to not do your work and to fall into an intensely programmed negative timeline that is interwoven with a dystopian, artificial intelligence agenda designed to enslave you? I mean, I know which way I would jump. It's a no-brainer for me, but it's always going to come down to you. Does it involve facing your stuff? Absolutely. Nobody has to do that on their own. Some people move through it easier than others. There is a wealth of support out there these days, online, offline, people you can get to support with that, things that you can look at that will help with that. Nobody has to do it on their own, but at the end of the day, it is a uniquely personal decision as you, as a unique expression of consciousness, has to make. do I get off the roundabout now and go in this direction, or do I do this? What I would say is, because we are at a pivotal point in history, the decision you make on that now is probably the most significant decision you'll ever make for the rest of your life, because it is going to determine whether you stay or even tip over into, if you haven't made your mind up on that soul or spirit level yet, are you going to be on a quantum heart grid of consciousness reality to access the higher levels of your consciousness, to come into the fullness of who you are and start to participate in creating your life, creating your reality? Or are you going to go falling back into a reactionary grid, continuously triggered, continuously projection, continuously not feeling healed, continuously feeling broken? Again, that decision can only be yours. If you choose to sort of do the work, this is a golden opportunity to do it, really golden opportunity to do it. Because if you make that choice, it's not something that's going to take years now. There isn't actually the time left. Now we're in the now grid, the quantum heart consciousness grid. There isn't the time now. It's at now. All the time is now. So it's up to you. It's up to you. If you can't be bothered to do the work, you will get the outcome that reflects that, which is more of the same. If you want to take the bull by the horns, so to speak, and take the golden opportunity here, not only could you a little bit later on connect again with the original person that kicked it off, but in a more balanced, harmonious format, but you can get to a point where you can connect with others in a balanced, harmonious format and live it and reap the rewards of coming into the fullness of who you are, coming into the fullness of your own relationship template. And on that note, short but sweet, on this Easter weekend, I will love you and leave you. Take care. I hope you're getting some kind of enjoyment from the Easter weekend in the current world circumstances, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.